What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This week's live session, the first one is going to be today, which is on Monday, not on Tuesday, as usual. But the other one is going to be still going to be on Thursday. All right. So we're just going to give it a few minutes, um, till I send out a few messages here and there, so more people can join. Um, and then we're gonna proceed and we're gonna check out gold. We're gonna have a look at euro dollar and pound dollar. I would say these are probably the best opportunities that we have right now. And I know I've stopped being saying that for the past maybe 2 weeks, but it really looks pretty decent right now, especially after the pullbacks that we had um, recently. So like I said, I'm just gonna send out a couple of messages. First, in the free Telegram channel, if you guys haven't joined yet, make sure to do so. All the links that you need are in the description below this stream. So join the free Telegram channel. And also, we've just sent out an email to our email subscribers with the best trading opportunities for this week. So we give you the setups early in the morning on Monday, and then until the end of the week, you will know what are the best setups in the market. So that email is already being sent. If you've missed it, make sure to go over to our website, trendlineforex.com, and this is where you can subscribe for that email newsletter. It's a very, very helpful one. And by the way, let me know if you can hear me well. Sometimes I have issues with my mic, or it's with OBS, the program that I use to stream, but I'm not sure which one it is. Sometimes it doesn't work properly. Okay, a quick notification on Twitter as well, and then I'm pretty much done. We're gonna check out the lower time frames as well, the 5, the 15-minute chart, for those of you who are looking for day trading opportunities. And of course, I would definitely stick to my plan on the higher time frames, which is to only look for buying opportunities when it comes to those major instruments. Um, if you're only looking to go short, maybe you can have a look at Euro Aussie, for example, or maybe dollar yen. But still, when it comes to entries and trading them in the main market direction and having a good risk to reward ratio, it's got to be euro dollar, pound dollar, or gold. And if I have to pick two of those, I would say pound dollar and gold. um, and we're going to find out why in just a second. Okay, but I'm curious to see what kind of setups you guys are looking at. When it comes to economic events, I think I mentioned this during one of the live sessions last week, but there's not really much going on throughout the week. I mean, we are not expecting any high impact news, US dollar related. I mean, looks like we've got something going on Thursday, but I'm not expecting anything major. So, uh, all we have to focus on is just technical levels this week. And I used to love those kind of weeks because when you don't have high impact news, you're basically, or at least the way I felt before, was I was more confident in my setup. If I enter a trade and the trade goes, let's say, in my favor, and usually if there are high impact news coming up, soon enough I would probably either move my stop to break even much faster, or I would just close my trade, or I would not even enter a trade, right? And so I thought that if we don't have high impact news, that's better for my trading. But the reality is that the best moves and those impulsive moves that we look for, they often happen, or most of the time they happen when we've got high impact news, right? So you get a lot more movement in the market, you get a lot more volatility in the market when you have high impact news. So now I prefer to actually have kind of a busy week ahead instead of like a week without any events. But it's fine because just last week, at the end of last week, we actually had some pretty decent confirmations that we may be looking at a reversal right here on gold, on pound dollar, and euro dollar as well. So I'm looking at pound dollar and we're already moving bullish and we're pushing up. So this is the 1 hour time frame. Here is the 15-minute chart, broke above this most recent high. We're now heading towards this one right here. We're probably going to see some sort of reaction. So let's see how it goes. But this is one of the pairs where I would expect to be looking for a continuation to the upside. So this is one of the setups that I'm most focused on, and of course gold as well. But the thing is, it would be much better if we see the breakout already. And now if you check out a pound dollar again on the 1 hour time frame, just like gold, we don't yet have that breakout here. So before that breakout occurs, we may see kind of a pullback, and then we could potentially look for buying opportunities. Okay, so if you want to go long, obviously you don't want to do it when price is testing previous highs. So just keep that in mind. Now, even though I'm expecting the same thing from euro dollar, bullish continuation, the thing is, and I've said it many times before, the pound is stronger when it comes to bullish price action. So one way to see that is, let me just grab my pen very quick, but one way to see that is to, when you look at the same time frame on, let's say, a couple of pairs or a few pairs, right? What we see here on euro dollar is that we have those previous lows. Okay, so price dips below those lows, so we break below that structure, and then we come back, which is, it is to a good enough confirmation that tells us that there is more bullish pressure in this market. But while we're breaking below this previous structure here on euro dollar, when you look at pound dollar, we couldn't manage to do that. Okay, so as you can see, those previous lows, they held price. Okay, and from here we've got that bounce. And what else do we have? Again, looking at the 1 hour time frame, here we have a previous high, we have another previous high, and then this happens, right? Now if you look at pound dollar, we've actually got a breakout right here. So we've got a higher high in this case. Okay, then we have a higher low, couldn't manage to break below that, and now we're trading back at this minor structure. So we can definitely see there's more bullish price action and more bullish pressure with the British pound against the US dollar compared to the euro. And then gold, I would say, sometimes gold is on its own, just doing its own thing, but it's here is the weekly time frame, a long rejection wick to the downside, so we perfectly retested the 61.8. Okay, now I'm looking at the 1 hour chart, and as you can see, we've got this reaction, couldn't quite manage to break above this previous structure. All right, but we definitely have a higher low. Now we're moving towards the previous highs, and we are currently in just a minor pullback. Now the thing is, we may see price action, continuing to trade sideways for a bit, and then eventually we're going to see that breakout, I feel like. So to be honest, this is a pretty decent opportunity for those of you who are using the volatility expert advisor. All right, and if you don't know what that is, make sure to check it out. It's on our website. It's one of our latest EAs, actually the latest one, and it's an automated way to kind of execute your analysis. But anyways, you know, when you are trading with the volatility expert advisor, you're basically looking for areas where you are expecting for price to kind of react in some way. And especially if you're expecting that at some point the market may slow down and maybe even trade sideways. But in those areas, this is where you use the volatility EA, because the more price trades sideways, the more profit you generate. Um, so I think this morning or last night I had a very good question by someone asking me why we've got. Let me just pull it up on the screen right here. Hope you can see that. I'm just gonna wait for my monitor to. Okay, it should be on the screen right now. Somebody asked me how could we have that much, but that's that's obviously not real. What you have to look at is the absolute gain right here. Okay, so that's nearly 80% profit on this account, just over 100k euros deposit, and as you can see, the withdrawals are 187k. Right, so all you need to look at is the absolute gain. And why this happens is I don't even know what the formula is or how it is calculated. But the thing is, if let's say you deposit 100k, just for example, you then withdraw 90k, and then from that 10k you make 20k. This is not 100% gain, but it will calculate it as, for example, 1,000% gain or something like this. So I don't even know how it calculates it. So do not look at the gain, but look at the absolute gain only, right? So this is the actual percentage gain on this account, right? And it's not just this one. Obviously, we've got other accounts as well where we are. All of those accounts are, as you can see, real and also verified by MyFXBook. So we've got plenty of those accounts right here. You can see again, absolute gain 25% here with initial deposit. That's not even. Is it 14k? I think it is something like this. But yeah, we've got multiple of those accounts where you can see how the volatility expert advisor is performing over time. We've been testing this expert advisor for the past um, 24 months, approximately something like this, about 2 year period. And we did release it to the public recently, so a lot of people took advantage of it. But I just wanted to make it clear right here on this account that we're only looking at the absolute gain, and this is the actual number, right? Not the one on the top. But yeah, whoever needs more information on the expert advisor, obviously, we've got a completely free of charge course on how to use it, what kind of strategies to use with it. Although you can, customize it whichever way you want to work with your own strategy. But we can also give you strategies that you can use to execute your analysis through the VTA, right? Uh, the volatility expert advisor, I mean. But anyways, a strong momentum here on pound dollar. Seeing the same thing here on euro dollar. And again, as you can see, we are approaching the previous high, trading at the previous high pretty much here on euro dollar. Well, on pound dollar, as we speak, we're breaking above that high as well. Now, this is not a confirmed breakout yet, but you can definitely see there's more bullish pressure in pound dollar compared to euro dollar. Anyone who's watching the live, what do you guys trade? Do you currently have any setups, any trades open, anything running, anything going on at all? Now, as you can see, because I'm looking at the lower time frames, and uh, that's why I'm not looking at that many pairs at once. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to check out a pair that you may be interested in, you know. And we're only going to be doing forex pairs, so do not send me like, stuff like wheat and copper and like stocks and stuff. So we're only talking about forex pairs. Now these are my favorite setups right here. I think I'm gonna do a completely separate video on just this setup, this type of setup right here. I may do one and post it on YouTube maybe by the end of this week or by the end of next week. We'll see, because I'm now preparing some videos, doing some content for uh, the smart money traders out there. I know this is kind of a hot topic right now, but this type of setup is basically what I'm looking for when I know what is the market direction and I need to find my entry. Now this could be on the higher time frame. In this case, this is the 1 hour chart, and I'm talking about this setup right here within this area. So we've got those lows, price taking out all those lows, as you can see, and it then gives you that reversal. Now the only thing I don't like about this reversal is that I wouldn't have an entry in this case, right? So I could have one if I'm more aggressive, because at the end of the day this is the 61.8, right? So it makes perfect sense that we will potentially reverse from this level. But this right here is kind of not enough for me, at least when I'm looking at it on the 1 hour chart. Now, if I drop down to the 15-minute time frame, I definitely have an entry here. Okay, so I've got this 3-pin pattern formation. I then have another engulfing candle. Okay, then we have a break and retest, which could probably be seen better on the 5-minute chart, for example. Okay, so we've got this high, got the breakout, we've got the retest. Before that, like I said, we have this engulfing right here, 3-pin pattern. Okay, break and retest. So I've got three potential confirmations to enter that trade, and all of that happens at the 61.8 level. Not only that, but when you check out the 1 hour time frame, we have just taken out some previous structure as well. Okay, so I've got three more confluences right here, four in total, and the 61.8, five confluences, and the most important one is bullish market direction. All right, so we're talking about 6 confirmations. This is how, a lot of people think that it's nearly impossible to be confident when you are in a trade and to not stress out. Well, when you have A plus setups like this, right, you can be confident in your setup, so you can enter that trade and you can chill. You don't have to stress out every time price goes against you, because you have a lot of things on your side. The odds are in your favor, and it looks like you may beat the market in this case, right? So these are the setups that you should be looking for. So yeah, like I said, I may do a separate video on that. I'm gonna try and keep it short and simple. I'm gonna show a couple of those examples of different pairs, maybe even different time frames, right? Maybe a bearish and a bullish example. I think this is gonna be helpful, because it's a very simple way to, here on pound dollar, even though the pound is stronger when it comes to bullish price action, we don't really have that dip below the previous structure. So in this case, me personally, I would probably look for entry here on euro dollar instead. Now, not anymore. I'm talking about when price was back here trading at the 61.8. But yeah, I mean, uh, it's a pretty decent setup. So if you look at the 15-minute time frame on gold, for example, the same setup would be if we do something like this. Okay, so we now have equal structure right here. We have this low, we have another one, and then price comes, dips below those lows, and it then gives you that reversal. All right, so now you have a breakout below this structure right here. All of those stop loss orders have been triggered. All right, a lot of market participants are now out of the market, and now at the same time, those traders who hit their stop loss right here, they will probably think the market is going to the downside, so they're going to be looking for short trades, and that's exactly when you see that reversal, right? Now, if this setup occurs here on the 15-minute time frame on gold, I'm probably going to be looking for an entry. What else do we have? We also have the yen cross pairs where, like I said in the video that we sent in the premium Telegram channel earlier today, I'm not looking to, I mean, I would be looking to go short if I see a setup like this, you know, that would give me a confirmation that my analysis is right. But even if price is pushing up, I'm not going to be looking to take a buy trade. It just doesn't feel right. Also, looking at dollar yen, I'm definitely bearish, you know. So if we see some sort of a pullback here, and then as long as I see a good enough confirmation that this pullback ends, so let's say, for example, a strong rejection wick to the upside with a bearish candle like this, you know, if I get a signal like this one, then I'm probably going to go short. But before that, I also need to see a bit of a pullback. Okay. Then I would potentially look to go short here on the yen cross pairs, and euro yen, of course, is going to be the one, because when it comes to bearish price action, I would bet that euro yen, um, it will be easier for the euro yen to drop rather than pound yen. Okay. Exactly the same thing here. By looking at the 4-hour time frame, just look at what kind of move we've got to the downside, and then when I switch over to pound yen, it is much smaller, nearly twice as small, right? So that's how you basically pick which one to buy and which one to sell, especially when they're positively correlated. Really strong price action in the beginning of the session. Uh, First day, trading day of the week as well. Really strong price action. Now we're most likely going to see some sort of reaction around this level right here. Um, 1.3350. Even if at first it looks like we're breaking above that easily, we may be looking at some rejection at least. I mean, I'm looking to the left, and we've got this previous high. We've also got this one. We've got this one up here. Obviously this one. So kind of a strong level here on the 1-hour time frame. And if you haven't entered a long position yet, do not rush, right? You don't want to enter right at the peak of that move. So we're either going to see a pullback here, and then we can look for buying opportunities, or if we break above that easily, then this is going to be a strong confirmation for price to continue higher. Let's have a look at dollar yen. Yeah, continuing bearish for now. I feel like we're going to see a long-term bearish move developing here on dollar yen. Now the thing is, if you want to go short, obviously we can't do it right here at current price levels. We will have to wait for a pullback. But then if you look at the 1 hour chart, we have this most recent high. So a good pullback I would consider is if we take out this structure right here, okay, and maybe then see that reversal. Now if this happens, this is going to be a good enough signal for me to look for short entries. The thing is, I don't know whether this pullback will happen now, and also obviously if price continues pushing down, well then this pullback level will have changed as well. Now we're also trading at the level around 144.80, and this is where we have this previous structure. So even if we dip below that, I would then expect to see some sort of relief and maybe then a continuation to the downside. Okay. But dollar yen is another pair on my watch list, which I'm considering a potential entry. Not right now. Like I said, I will have to wait for such a pullback, but I've got the idea, I've done my analysis, I know that we're most likely going to continue bearish on the higher time frames. So all I gotta do is just wait for a good enough entry, so I can, kind of squeeze out a positive risk to reward ratio. Because right now I don't have a positive risk to reward ratio, right? If I want to enter a short trade now, I will have to place my stop loss above 148.65, which is obviously quite far from current price levels. So there's no point for me to look for entries right now. Whereas if we take out some previous structure, just like in this case right here, and then we see that reversal, well, then this is going to be a new level that we can work with. So in that case, we would be able to place our stop loss just above that reversal right here. And this is what's going to give us a much better risk to reward ratio, because I'm not only going to be looking for price to test those previous lows on the 4-hour time frame, but maybe even continue lower. Okay, if you look at the daily chart, we've got 140.70, we've got 140 even number. So we definitely have some levels to work with when it comes to bearish continuation here on dollar yen. So whatever I'm talking about, just mark out the levels that I mentioned during my live sessions, and then just observe what price action does. Yeah, the moves have already happened here on euro dollar and on pound dollar. Now, the only one from those three that I mentioned in the beginning of the session, which currently provide the best entries, the only one left is gold. Um, it may take a little bit more time for gold to break out, but once it does, I feel like we're gonna have a kind of a bigger move here. At least on the lower time frames. I'm not saying we're gonna be heading straight to previous major highs, but we may be looking for a breakout of those highs here on the 1-hour time frame, right after we break above this structure. But we want to see a clear breakout, all right? See, this is what I'm talking about. So let's see, we still got a couple of minutes until that 5-minute candle closes, but the higher it goes, the better for us, because we can then potentially look for a continuation. We don't yet have that breakout here. I've got some issues with TradingView. It's not loading up my charts. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. I think it can. Oops, here we are. Now remember, if we have a strong bearish price action here, then we want to see how will price react at this previous low. Right, if it creates equal structure, then ideally we want to see the market taking it out and then giving us that reversal. Now, even if we don't have equal structure, even if we just take out this previous low and then we get that reversal, this is still going to be a valid setup. But I've noticed the best ones are really when we have some equal structure before that. Now, I just want you to have a look at this price action on the 1 minute chart. And again, this is what I'm talking about. It happens all the time, again and again. Now, we have this push to the upside, right? And we're obviously breaking above this previous high. Now, right here, we have equal structure, right? So after this momentum candle, we have a dip just below that equal structure. So we're breaking below this minor level. This is only the 1 minute time frame, but the setup happens on every time frame, and it's pretty much the same setup every time. We have a strong move to the upside or to the downside, and within that move we have equal structure. Okay, so we come back to take it out, okay, and then immediately we get that reversal. And this is because many orders have been closed right here below that equal lows. Okay, so we've got stop loss on the orders, we've got pending orders as well, right? We've got manual execution at that level. This happens all the time. I think I may have a video on on our YouTube channel exactly on that setup. It may be in the video where I'm explaining liquidity grab and stop loss hunt, but I'll do another one, just as an update. Because like I said, those setups, they happen all the time on every instrument as well, not just on, in this case, we're looking at gold, but it's not just on gold. The other setup, which is very similar, and it's on the higher time frame, and I already showed you that setup. That was on euro dollar. So as long as you learn how to, spot that type of setup, and you trade it in the direction of the trend, well, then you're most likely going to increase your profitability. Your win rate is going to get higher. You're gonna get more confidence in trading, and you will know what to wait for. So if you're unsure whether you should enter a trade or not, if you don't have that setup, just do not open a trade. And this is going to actually help you reduce the number of your trades, which automatically means you're going to reduce your losses. I've also said that before many times. Sometimes to be profitable, you just have to cut out the losses. It's not even about, a lot of people are actually finding profitable setups, but in between those profitable setups, they're also, they continue looking for trades all the time, and so they enter a lot of losing positions as well. So as long as you reduce your losing positions, you may turn out to be a profitable trader. Yeah, I definitely have some connection issues with TradingView. I don't know if you guys currently experience the same, but as you can see, it doesn't switch from a time frame or from one chart to another that quickly as it used to be. It may be because I'm streaming, but it hasn't happened before, to be honest. So I don't know if the issue is with my internet connection or what it may be. I don't think so, because at the same time the stream is going well. It's not like glitching or anything like this, or at least I think so. If any one of you guys managed to catch those initial moves on euro dollar and pound dollar, well done. And by the way, 2 hours before I started the session, so that means 6 no, not even 6, like 5 a.m. London time, I think it was. Sent out a video already in the premium Telegram channel, letting everyone know that we are only looking for buying opportunities on euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. And if you check out the charts right now, especially on euro dollar and pound dollar, you will see what kind of we had a pretty big jump in the beginning of the session already. Okay, and I was expecting to see a move like this, but maybe not that early. Um, but anyways, it happened. So if anyone managed to find an entry before that momentum happened, well then, well done. That's great. Just look at this move right here. That's a 15-minute time frame. So we're talking about 65 pip of move on euro dollar, and most likely we're gonna have a bigger one on pound dollar. So let's check it out. You see, this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't switch over to the next instrument that fast. So that was a 65 pip move on euro dollar, and we have an 80 pip move on pound dollar. So I've mainly been talking about gold and euro dollar and pound dollar, and I can see you guys are joining in now. But the stream is coming to an end. So let me know if there are any other pairs that you want me to have a look at. If you currently have any setups going on, or if you are in any trades, let me check them out before I go. And if you don't have any, if you're joining in to find out what are the best setups right now, again, it's euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. We're we're bullish on each one of those instruments. Just watch out for potential trades. Even if you don't have a good enough setup today, still have a few more days until the end of the week, right? Oh, bless me. Well, none of you guys are asking any questions or anything, so I might be ending the session right now. And by the way, for those of you who are just joining in, if you haven't seen our channel before, make sure to subscribe. I've got videos coming out. I do live sessions twice a week. It's usually every Tuesday and Thursday, but today it's Monday, so it's only going to be today where I'm going to have to swap Monday and Tuesday, but the next live session this week is going to be on Thursday, and then next week again back to normal Tuesday and Thursday. And like I said, there are more videos coming out. Also check out our website, trendlineforex.com. We've got courses that are completely free of charge. All you got to do is to sign up on our website, just enter your email, and you'll get access to our free courses. If you are a complete beginner, I I definitely recommend the beginners trading course. It's probably the best start for your trading journey. And if you already have some experience, but you want to learn some strategies and stuff like that, you can check out the course on how to get funded. Again, I'm only talking about free courses right here. And if you really want to take your trading to the next level, obviously we've got a full mentorship program, which is a 12-month program where we track your results, we teach you strategies, we go through, we can build you a custom-made strategy. Um, Depending on your free time, your experience, your deposit, your live account, and stuff like that, whatever it is, we can definitely help with all of that. Okay, and don't forget to check out the free Telegram channel. There is a link in the description below this video if you're not watching this live, or if you are watching live, just check out the links below this stream in the description box. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end the session right here. Again, look for bullish continuation on euro dollar, on pound dollar, on gold. Okay, and if you want to go short, maybe then look at dollar yen, or let's say euro Aussie is another one of those cross pairs where I'm expecting to see a bearish continuation, just like euro pound, by the way. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next session. Thanks for everyone who joined, and take care.